Hi everyone, I'm Michelle Mira, entrepreneur, certified breatharian healer, energy medicine practitioner, and transformation guide. So today I'm going to talk about how to stop being broke as a spiritual person. I want to get into this because I've realized a few things lately that are significant in this area. So if you don't have money pouring into your life at a hugely abundant rate, then it might be because you're shunning it. Uh, you know, Oftentimes we treat money like a friend we don't really want around. If you had a friend and you kept saying, I don't need you, I don't need to think about you, you're not really important. There are other things that are more important than you. And, I'm just fine without you. It's funny when we think of it as a friend, as a person, but this is how many of us treat money. As an example, if I say I want to make a lot of money, do you have judgments that come up around that? Or if I say, I'm looking for a lot of people to get rich with, filthy rich with, like how does that feel to you when I say that? I'm looking for a lot of people that can just make a ton of money. We can all work together and make a ton of money. Or, anything around that. What if I said, I don't give my healing services away for free, ever? I don't give away my services for donations. I don't do my spiritual work without charging people. And feel what all these statements feel like in your body. Do you get a little squirmy? Do you judge me? Do you start thinking automatically, well, that's a little greedy? And there are so many statements that can make you feel uncomfortable. And I know this because I have realized that I get uncomfortable. I had a conversation with someone that stands out of my mind that made me really irritable because the whole conversation was about money. It was about money. And how can you do things to make money? Well, I got really irritable with this conversation, especially when it kept carried on and on and on. And what I have learned is that anything that triggers us or makes us uncomfortable, or anything that someone else is doing that gets under our skin, these are indicators of where we need to heal, where we've been wounded, where we've put things in shadow. And so this is exactly what I've realized for myself, is that I have put money in shadow for a long time. What do I mean by this? I have taken money and demonized it. I have treated it like something that I do not want around. I do not want to focus on. I don't need in my life. And again, if we treated anybody like that, they probably wouldn't come around. They wouldn't be knocking on our door every day. They wouldn't be coming into our life to lend any kind of value or to help us or to give to us in any way. If and you can try it out with a friend, like just try to ignore them and refuse them and deny them and put them in the corner, and it's not going to be a two-way nurturing conversation, relationship, and more than likely they're going to go away from you. And so I think oftentimes we don't realize the relationship that we have with money, or the lack of relationship we have with money, and then we're surprised when we're not able to pay our bills, when we never seem to have enough money to sustain our lives. And especially as spiritual people that are focused on the inward journey, the healing journey, being healers for other people, I know a lot of spiritual, beautiful people that they're really good at what they do. They offer a beautiful service for people. They've changed lives, and yet they never seem to have enough money to sustain their lives. And what happens when we have money in shadow and we make it insignificant in comparison to these other things, we make it less than our spiritual journey or our practice, our service to people. Like, money doesn't really fit into that. Money doesn't really matter. I'm not doing it for the money. I'm doing it for the love. Like, when we do that, we create a void, and it's an actual void that takes energy away from us and other people. And so what I've seen a lot is that people have done that, and what ends up happening is that when they don't have enough money to sustain their livelihood, then their loved ones, their friends, their family, people around them end up having to pay money to help them out. And at that point, the void is, it's an empty, it's taking energy. And abundance does include other people coming and giving. Abundance does come from other people. But we want to look at the dynamic that's happening, because for years I was doing this and my family would have to come to the rescue, and other people, my friends, they would have to step in and help me take care of it. These beautiful spiritual teachers that are staying on their friends' couches and just in a lifestyle that's not sustaining their needs. It ends up feeling like it's not really in balance. It's not really in reciprocity. And I'm telling you, I'm speaking from experience. And it surprised me when I saw that I had money so far in shadow, I could barely even relate and identify it with anymore, So here I am doing affirmations and all this work, personal work on all these other levels, and then I'm coming up short with money, and I'm feeling like things are out of balance in the financial department. So I'm looking at my stories that I have around money. That's the stories that I picked up from childhood. I'm working with those stories and I'm trying to change it. And then all of a sudden, boom, I realize I got this huge shadow piece of money in the dark here. So what do we do when we do shadow work? First of all, we acknowledge, I have taken this part of my life and I have alienated it. I have pushed it away from me. I have denied it, rejected it. I say demonized it because those are the things that are really ugly to you that you put away way, way, way deep. And so we can secretly desire to have money in our life and at the same time feel like it's not good to focus on money. It's not good to talk about it. It's not good to use other people to make money. But the thing is that everybody in the world needs other people to generate abundance. Every business owner needs other people. They need to get the word out about their product, service, their business. And that's not using people, that's providing a service. That's letting people know what you do, what you can do for them, and inviting them to come in and to spend money on your services and your products. And so when we have money in shadow, we will find ourselves judging people that are making money. We'll find ourselves judging people that are having success. We'll even find ourselves trying to put them down or tear them down. We'll find ourselves giving our service away for free or underestimating ourselves. We'd really like to have this, but we're apologizing for asking for it, or we feel like we're never going to really be able to have that kind of lifestyle. We have to settle for what we're getting, and we have to, give our beautiful service away for donation because it's spiritual, because it's healing, because it's on this other level that we've separated out from business. And I'll tell you something, I have not been into a yoga studio that doesn't have to have the business part, that doesn't have to ask for money yet anyway. There may be people out there doing it for free because they can, but every yoga studio that I've gone into and gotten so much from, they've asked me for money before class even starts. And I've been inside an ashram. I've been inside a retreat center, several retreat centers, and they all ask for money. They all manage money, and they don't let you come onto the, into the retreat and without paying. They charge up front. They ask for that money, and they ask for a lot of money, and then you come in and you receive their teaching, you receive their service, and you're a lot of times your life has changed because of it. So in the world, everybody's doing this. So if it makes you personally uncomfortable like it has me, then that's something to look at. And that the first thing we do when we're doing shadow work is that we identify it. We say, I get uncomfortable when people talk about this. I get triggered. I have emotions come up when people talk about this with me. Okay? So if people start talking about money or asking for money, or if they're really excited to make a lot of money and you're like, oh, way to be greedy, and you start judging them, okay, right there, you can say, okay, let's look at this. Do I have money in shadow? If your story around money is limiting, then that's an indication you might have shadow and money. If you have, as I have talked about, if you felt like let's just not talk about money. We don't need to talk about that. It's really not about the money. Like, yeah, this all sounds noble and great, but it could indicate that you've been taking this money, pushing it in shadow and rejecting it and shunning it. And so it's not going to free flow into your life until you bring it out of shadow, until you go, I have this in shadow. Let's bring it into the light. It makes me uncomfortable to talk about money. Why is that? Is it because I don't feel worthy of making money? Is it because when I was younger, I was taught that it's noble to, be a servant and to not go after money? Is it because I feel like wealthy people are nasty, or I feel like to be a good person, you can't make a lot of money? What is it? What is it? Can you identify it? The first step is to realize and notice, okay, I've got this in shadow. So let's bring it out into the light. Let's just acknowledge it. Let's acknowledge that I've been uncomfortable around money. Okay? Great. Is there a belief? This is the second step. Is there a belief that I have around it that makes me want to push it away? Have I seen bad examples of people that are making money and using it in the wrong way? Do I feel like it corrupts people? And then you want to kind of look at the stories that can be positive around it. So you want to bring in a new story, and it can be simple. Like, I just heard an example of someone that was able to give $100,000 away to people that had lost their homes during lockdown. And she was able to just take that money and give it to them. There are other examples of people just being able to really make a difference in the community. For me, I love animals. So if I had a ton of money that I could just go and sponsor all the animals in the shelter and know that they're going to be adopted, taken care of, and not killed, that would make me feel really, really good. And in crisis situations, if I had a large sum of money that I could put out, give out to people, to lend them a hand, to even close friends, if they're in need, if I could just say, you know what, here, let me pay your bills for a month. The thing is that the more money we have, the more we can bring out our true character. We're true, good-hearted people. Then when we have money, we'll be able to use it in bigger ways, that enhance love all around us. So that whole idea of if you're a spiritual person, you don't really need to make a lot of money, that's not really true. You're a good person. You have a beautiful service. And these retreat centers that are making tons and tons of money, they're helping a lot of people change their lives. They're teaching them to meditate. They're teaching them to cleanse their bodies, to communicate in a better way, to bring happiness. And they're charging for it, and because they're making this money, they're able to provide beautiful retreat centers and bigger courses and amazing food, and they're able to do things on a bigger scale. So, find a story that really ignites your heart around money that you'd be able to do. What would you do if you had $300,000? What would you do with it? What good could you do with it? How could you enhance your spiritual services to reach more people and bring more beauty in the world? Leave beauty in your wake instead of stress and fear around, like, how am I going to pay my bills? Because we all need money right now to pay our bills and to sustain our lives, to have food, to raise our families, we're still in that society that we need that. Now, if you had a lot of money, maybe you could implement more sustainable living. You could implement a barter system. There's so much that you can do. So I think that if we can take our focus and bring this out of shadow, take these old stories and blow them out, like that's not even true anymore, then we can actually start making a bigger change. And the third thing is that we need to start working on the relationship that we have. We need to start nurturing it. We need to bring money in as a friend, as a companion, and we can even make it sacred. And I have started playing with this because I love ceremonies, and I love, my devotional time, my time for prayer. I love altars, and I love putting sacred objects on my altars and being able to see how beautiful they are and to honor them. One of my core values is honor, and I want to feel honored. I want to honor in others. And so if we can play with money, not just take it out of shadow, but if we can take it out of shadow and put it in a place that we can honor it as something beautiful. Because, and I'm going to go into the fourth thing, which is, and I'm sure that most of you have heard that, energy is, everything's energy, money included. Money is just energy. Love is energy. And money and love are both currencies. So that's the other thing, is that when we take money and make it sacred, then we can actually tap into the energy of it. What is the essence of money? If it's just energy, what does it feel like? And how can I resonate with that? How can I, in a sense, merge with that essence? How can I play with this? Like, as an example, if you look at it, again, I like animals. So if I look at it, like, my cat is so easy to love, and he'll just stare into my eyes, and I can really feel him. I can feel who he is, and I can see his essence in there. And it's so, like, we just have this energy exchange, and it's so natural. Dogs are amazing at it. They love to just come up and, get all, like, lick you all over, look you right in the eye. And, well, anyway, some of them do. But my cat's big on eye contact and intimacy, and he'll get just real close. I mean, like, he can't get close enough, and he'll just look into my eyes, and we have this beautiful energy exchange, right? You can have this with friends, with animals, with nature. There's an energy exchange when you go to the river. You know, you feel it, you smell it, you can almost taste it. The sun, like people. So it's really exploring this with money. What is the energy of money? What's it like? Can I merge with it? Can I really feel it? And can I have that playful exchange like I would with an animal? And it's really that simple. And so when we start to do this and we start to really feel it and engage with it, we see that it's really not a bad guy. It's not here to hurt us. It's energy. And it can go one way and then it can go another way. And so then we start just developing this relationship with it. And then we can decide where we want it to go. We can decide how much energy do we want to play with, how much do we want to call in, how much do we want to invite into our home. And then we can use love, we can use money as exchanges, as currency when we're interacting in the world. And so, you know, I invite you to do what I've been doing, which is the work, which is the realizing when you're trying to put it back in shadow and grab it out, bring it out into the light and go, wow, what's this about? Why do I feel so uncomfortable right now with this person? You know, why am I judging them because they're talking about money? Like, look at it in real time. And then notice what's happening. Notice what the story is around it in real time. And then play with it. Say, okay, how can I honor this money in the situation? How can I honor this person for playing with money? How can I right now experience my relationship with money and work on that? Because I think we all have experiences with relationships, whether good or bad. And the relationships that we're able to nurture on a regular basis and give back to and, you know, receive from, like, these are our healthiest relationships. If we have unhealthy relationships, it's usually because it's one-sided. One person can't receive, one person's pushing away, maybe one person's giving more than the other, or one person feels rejected. So, you know, you can look at relationship with money as just exactly like you do relationships with other people. And you can look at, where am I maybe rejecting money? Where am I not nurturing this relationships? You know, where am I blocked? Where am I not able to receive? And so I know I've given you several steps to work on in this, but it can be fun and it can be easy to recognize when it comes up. It doesn't have to be this monumental, oh boy, you know, I got it in shadow, I'm never going to get over this, or I don't have it in shadow, I don't need to work on that, you know. And that is, I will say also that in all the shadow work that I've done, that is the first gut reaction that everybody has when they see that they might have this thing in shadow. Their first reaction is, I don't have a problem with that. So open up, be willing to look at it, be willing to kind of breathe into it, and maybe consider, maybe I do have a little bit of money in shadow. You know, maybe I have rejected it and shunned it and pushed it away, and you know, or just even start with, is money flowing to me in all the abundance that I need? Or do I come up short every month for my bills? Could it be something energetic? Or, you know, is it just that I have to get 3 more jobs? So, and that's another thing, is, do you have a story that you have to work really hard in order for it to come? Or one of my stories that I was taught was that I have to hurt myself to make a lot of money and to be worthy of bringing in that money. That was something I was taught by example growing up. So anyway, explore it And feel free to comment below or reach out to me if you want to dialogue about it, or go a little deeper, share your experiences. We're all to some extent doing shadow work, especially during this time in the world. And even aside from money, if you find anything that's triggering your emotions or getting you worked up or irritating you, take a look at it. What's the story? Is it something that could possibly be in shadow that you could bring out and work with? So I invite everybody to open up and see, because if someone's triggering you, it's ultimately about you. Because when we've done all of our work, people can act the exact same way, but they won't affect us. They won't get us emotionally worked up. So the invitation is to look at it and look for ways that you can do your work and free yourself. And then it's not how you feel and how you interact with the world isn't according to what someone else is doing. And it's a really beautiful, free place to come from. And so especially around money, let's break through, guys. Let's stop feeling small around money and insignificant and unworthy. This is just it's just energy that we can play with, that we can bring in, that we can change our lives with, really. So, okay, I hope this has been helpful. Be sure and click subscribe if you're new here, and interact. Let's communicate about this. All right, have a good day.